Okay, yeah. So George Soros contributed like $30 million to this thing, right? Overnight. Who else? How much did this dude put in? He put in about 30 billion. Essence Magazine, Google gave them about 2.3 million, 2.35 million. Tom Setier, he raised maybe about 100 million for them. And he's contributed at the same time to Hillary's campaign and Donald Trump's campaign. About 70 million apiece. Doomberg put up about 27.7 million. Zuckerberg created a whole Black Lives Matter platform and has headquarters, right, in Dallas, which is about like 10-20 minutes from where the whole shooting thing went down, right? So what we're seeing is the corporatization of radical so-called black movements, because what's going to happen is the people that's going to suffer from the movements are going to be the so-called black people. Right now, when you go and see a lot of the people protesting, being shot up and killed and locked up right now, a lot of the people is Caucasian people in these BLM movements getting caught up because they feel they're playing on the white man's guilt, they're playing on the so-called white man's burden. And so you have all of these liberal, so-called sober-minded white people now that want to go out here and show that they're not racist, and now they're getting beat up and brutalized the same way as these other so-called black and white people, right?
I'm sorry,
the same way as everybody else. Yep. So it's to a point now where you have so much confusion. I talked about in the EU how they Britain used the pound sterling as their modicum of exchange, made that the world reserve currency, and now based on that, Britain went into bankruptcy to the point now, in order for them to preserve their country, they have to break up from the EU union that they created. So is it a coincidence that they popped this dude named Alton Sterling, right there on TV in front of everybody, to the point now where what they have shown you is that from the time of Rodney King to now, they can have you on tape, they can have you dead to rights on tape, on film. Nobody will be prosecuted. This is again to produce the race war. This is again to produce the radicalization of so-called white militia groups to create a uniform neo-Nazi, not only police force, but domestic force. They've already created a movie about this, about to come out, starring Harry Potter, called Imperium. And it's all about false flag situations being started so that way the white supremacists can have the race war that they want. Well, guess what? It's about to go down, but it's not going to go down how they think. This race war that's going to go down really also is starting the way that it happened so quickly, because what you don't know is that North Korea has formally declared war against the United States. Openly. This happened, okay, Kim Jong-il declared war on the United States because the United States has now said that they're going to impose another sanction on North Korea to now go on for another 30 years. So now North Korea is like, we're done. So they've already declared war to the point where they've prepped their ships to DEFCON 4. They're ready to go. So right when they did that, what happened? They had to have a mass distraction. So that distraction now is we're going to kill 4 black men in the same, within a 48-hour stream. So what does that mean? That means now that if North Korea now has put forth a declaration of war against the United States, you have to understand this is the first open declaration of war that has ever been declared since World War I. You understand? So when we talk about this new so-called world order, this new, race war that they talk about fighting, that's the domestic thing. The race war thing is the domestic thing to keep you from not understanding that the international forces that are coming are actually coming to secure the American Republic. And don't let these dirty Moors and these miseducated, stupid Moors and stupid blacks and stupid whites and stupid whatever person they are tell you that it has nothing to do with nationality. It's all about your national character. It's all about what flag you are under or you are in amity with. They're going to tell you that you may not be educated about something doesn't mean that what you're not educated about is not true. Ignorance of the law is of no excuse, and it cuts both ways. So the same way now they pumping it on you, black man, black woman in America, telling you that you don't have no rights in this country. Guess what? The international forces is coming over here and telling them the same thing. So now what they got to get you to do is to get bogged down in you being black and you being oppressed and you being murdered, which is really happening. But at the same time, as much as they killing you now what they got to do is make the police look like the victims. So when they first came out with it, right, it was a white guy that was shooting everybody up. But now they got this pro-black dude, right, putting up his fist, and now what are they doing? Just like I told you they was going to do in Red China Rise and World War V, in Welcome to Obamatopia, in the other one I did, Ancient Chaos Alchemy. I told you they was going to do this. They trying to make a bridge into the now defunct conscious community and start to target your scholars. They already did it with Coakley. So now what's going to happen? Now they got to picture this dude right next to Professor Griff, right? But remember, all of this is distraction, because 2 weeks ago, almost 4 weeks ago, the biggest thing in the conscious community was about Bambaataa molesting people. Remember that? That's gone now, though. Nobody talking about that. Where did that go? Who made that go away? The white man made that go away too? Or was it certain people around that situation that don't want you to rock with that, so we got to get another distraction in? So now what I'm seeing is that you got the government using distractionary tactics. You got people in the conscious community using distractionary tactics, all to get you from focusing on the truth, which is that the time has come. The judgment day is here. And everybody that's been trying to front like they've been down with this real truth movement is now about to see that the Moorish Science Temple of America has been the only movement in the whole thing that was not infiltrated up until 1928. After 1928, they reorganized in 1938, and that's why so much confusion now. But the original constituency of what the temple is still exists. And the true national character of what the prophet did still exists. And the aspect of us as true American citizens, as the prophet referred to us as Muslims, not Muslims, still exists. But guess what? You're not going to get it if you're following BLM, if you're following an Ink Temple, if you're following anybody else that's trying to put you in a position to follow them. Me, I see as your brother, I'm telling you, don't follow me into nothing but the truth. You understand? What I know is that the Moorish Science Temple is the only movement in the entire world where a bunch of different movements came out of it. The principles for the Moorish Science Temple is what? Love, truth, peace, freedom, justice, and equality. You had the love movement in the 60s. You had the truth movement in the 90s. You had the peace movement in the 60s. You had the what? What's the other movement? Love,
peace,
truth,
and the freedom in the 70s.
And the freedom movement in the 70s, right?
Equality.
And the equality movement.
And that's still going on.
With the civil rights thing,
and
right?
with women wanting to get treated equal playing as men.
Thank you, God. So what that says to me is that we've always been on the right track. We put ourselves outside of the blessing. We put ourselves outside of the knowledge because we think that we are approaching something and putting ourselves in league with people like this, you understand, that founded your movements, that's founding all your movements now, right? The last one I want to show you is this. So no
black folks is getting checks for nothing.
For getting checks for
I'm
nothing.
just wondering.
Lastly,
right? If we were to equate that into reality, that
yes.
means the people that you see are just the puppets.
That's right.
Okay, great.
That's right. And lastly, as we go out, let me just bring down your great white hope, because I know how y'all do. Here we go. I know you know this dude, right? These people come from somewhere else. This is Philip Landgrave. This is his direct ancestor. This dude right here is a European. This is what the Europeans looked like that enslaved the original people that came here. So if this was a European at the time of the American Revolution, almost up to the Civil War, then that means who are these Caucasian people that's running stuff today? Who are they if this is what a European is? So when this guy now comes out now and starts talking to you about all of this and y'all turning him into the new Master Farad Muhammad, I'm letting you know this is just another program. Because Master Farad came and Elijah and them used him because at the time black people wasn't believing nothing that's coming out of a phenotypically black mouth. So let's what? Let's get a light-skinned black man that almost look white to tell you that you God, and then maybe you believe it. And guess what? It worked. And now what's happening? The same thing happening. Right, babe? The same thing is happening. Look, you can't make it up. You gotta understand, nobody on that TV that they showing you and giving you some sort of liberation consciousness is coming on their own volition because that's what they want to do. He is being prepped. He is an actor. You understand? He is created. He was put in this position to do what he's doing because he come from a long line of Holy Roman emperors and Europeans, right? Indeed. Moorish Europeans that came over here to get us to stop following our autochthonous law and follow the lawless laws of Europe.
Which is very interesting because it goes right back to that whole Willie Lynch program that the black man can't trust anything that comes out of skin that looks like his.
But guess what?
If you look like a white man but have the mentality of a black, because that brother right there is more melanated than black
Clarence
white
Thomas.
boys. How about then all them basketball players that had that white girl
How
party?
about that? How about he blacker than half the people that's on?
At least he ain't scared to sit next to me. Can we talk about it like that? Because them niggas at that basketball party, as much as you're a black man, I'd rather just be around white women because if I'm around a sister, they might be able to see through me.
That's right.
And can tell that I like a little bit of penis and vagina,
so
which is totally fine. If that's how you rock, what they do. But let's not act like black women can't peep the vibration being a little off. And you know black men don't like being around somebody that's going to check.
That's going to check them. And then let's keep it real. The fact that this guy, like I said, if I can pull this up, you think that they don't know this? Come on.
I don't know if he knows
when we
that.
talk about Europeans, you got to understand, when we talk about Europeans that came over here, we talking about people like this. We're not talking about these people today you call Caucasian.
Yeah,
them people did not get free until after the Civil War. They was all slaves. Get the book, White Slavery. Get the book, They Were White and They Were Slaves. Get the book, White Cargo. Get the book, White Women Captives in North Africa. Get the book, Muslim Master Christian Slaves. Get the book, Forgotten Cause of the Civil War. Get the book, Iceman Inheritance. Get the book, Chosen People of the Caucasus. Get the book, 13 Tribe. If you read all of the books, they'll be to tell you about anybody who call themselves white, W-H-I-T-E white, W-I-G-H-T white, or Caucasian white. Nobody will be able to tell you nothing. Because you'll then know who the real so-called white man is. And guess what? It ain't no nigga from Europe.